take a moment right now to get ourselves centered into a level of awareness. And my dear friends, this is why we're here every Sunday and Wednesday and in the classes and the programs that we offer, is to, as I recall when I worked in Silent Unity so many years ago, to build a battery of consciousness, prayerful consciousness, on an ongoing basis through a daily practice that allows us to quickly and easily and effortlessly sink into the center of our being, into the pool, the deep pool of quiet contentment. And that's a space, my friend, that you can never be deprived of. It is always waiting for you, in fact, calling to you, regardless of the calamity and the commotion in the world of time and space. Here we rest together in the certainty of what we teach, what we believe, and what we live. One presence, one power, one glory, one God, one heart and one mind, transcending all materiality, defying all the reports of our five senses. This is a time in which each of us individually and all of us as a human family are being called into greatness. And the choice is before us in this moment right now to determine how we will interpret the events unfolding around us. You can choose to see anything, to see all things through the eyes of love, with the vision of the divine. And you will find that before you will melt away all of the harsh and fearful illusions that seem to be beckoning to you for control. You can take a deep breath. You can let go. And you can let God guide your every step, inspire your every action, speak your every word, right here and now in this moment and in all the moments that we will face as we move through this condition. And a condition it is, dear friend. Our aim in this time we share together this morning and in every moment of our lives is to be unconditional. Unconditional fountains of peace, of appreciation and love, of compassion and understanding, of elation and joy, of health and vitality and wholeness, of infinite invisible supply, of strong, mighty support for ourselves and for all others, and of communion. I invite you to recognize that you now and always are a part of the heart of Unity on the Bay, and that heart is beating strong. It is beating victoriously, and there is nothing in the world outside of you that is greater than the world inside of you. The peace, the presence, and the power of God. So we breathe into this relaxed state of being, knowing that God is here, a present help, right now and always. So it is, so we let it be. Thank you, God, and amen.
I'm just sitting here thinking about the opportunity we have to truly and boldly embody the vision that we have for Unity on the Bay, humanity inspired to its divinity. And I think that's one of the things that we're doing as we are gathering in this type of space. that we are just holding that vision for ourselves and for our community, our loved ones, and the entire world. So I just invite you to be very conscientious of that and be conscious of holding that as we move through this modified service that we have for you this morning. Part of the modified service is that both Chris and I are going to be sharing the talk or the discussion, and we'd love to just hear from you if you have any questions about any fears that you may be experiencing due to the coronavirus or the things that are happening right now, that you would like for us to answer. What are the ways in which maybe we are coping or supporting ourselves through this time? So make sure that you put those questions in the comments area, and somebody's going to be giving us those questions later on. We also just want to make sure that you know some of the decisions that we've made in order to respond to the current situation and to also support our community through it. Our Sunday and Wednesday services are going to be only streamed for the next 2 weeks, ending in, including March 25th, Wednesday, March 25th. Before then, we will, of course, let you know of any other decisions that we make. And so during this week, all classes are canceled as we sort of look at which ways we can use Zoom and other technologies to continue to have those. The Absolute Abundance class this Tuesday, though, with me, is going to be on Zoom, so you don't have the week off for those of you who are in that class. We are inviting you to contact our offices. We will have our offices open, and contact us if you need some prayer support, if you would like to have one-on-one spiritual counseling with our spiritual support team. And also there's some really wonderful congregants of ours being spearheaded by Lucy Leach, one of our congregants, one of our members, who have opened their hearts to supporting anybody in our community who is elderly or immune system compromised and would like some support in going out and getting medicine or other things that may be needed for their home so that they can stay safe in their home, and you can have somebody help you. If you are interested in taking advantage of that, please call our offices and let us know. Now, one of the things that we will be doing is that as always, our website has an opportunity for you to put in whatever prayer intentions or prayer requests you have within your heart for us to hold, and we will be looking at those and we'll be praying over those in the next couple of days. And on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we're going to have a prayer call at 8:30 in the morning for anybody who wishes to just start off the day in prayer and in support of our divinity, our wholeness, our health, and our peace of mind. So that information is going to be on our website. I think it's also going to be in the comments section of what is the call-in number for it. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so the days that we don't have the prayer calls, what we're going to be doing is an 8:30 a.m. guided meditation on Facebook Live, as well as on our website, and I'll be leading those Tuesdays and Thursdays. Last, we want to just remind you that we do have a really wonderful opportunity to connect not only with people in our community, but throughout the world that are holding a prayer vigil. The Silent Unity Virtual Prayer Vigil is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you are connecting with people all over the world who just really want to connect with the space, the energy, and the consciousness of Silent Unity. We'll have that information in the comments for you to be able to take advantage of that. And so, as you can tell, a lot of the ways in which we are recognizing the opportunity to support each other is through prayer and deep work of prayer. And wouldn't you know, the daily word for today is actually pray for others. So I invite you to just take a deep breath. And just with an open heart and with an open mind, hear these words. As I pray for others, I affirm unfolding good in their lives and in mine. Honored by the trust of those who request my prayers, I listen with compassion and then release all thoughts of illness, lack, limitation, or inharmony. Knowing that my responsibility is not to set the situation right, but to see it rightly, I look beyond challenging conditions and attune to the essential truth that the one for whom I pray is created in God's image and is seeking to express God's likeness, just as all people are, just as I am. I know that the divine presence, the Christ, is present both in me and in the one for whom I pray. It restores wholeness in mind, body, and emotions, guiding all decisions, inspiring prospering ideas, and bringing harmony and peace to all relationships. And the daily word was inspired from Psalm 145, verse 18. The Lord is near to all who call on him, to all who call on him in truth.
You know, my friends, the universe is always watching out for us, always has our back. And what I find interesting about these times of challenge that we inevitably move through as part of the human condition is the way in which words like those come in exactly the right way at precisely the right time. Because the reality is, I think that daily word just said everything I wanted to say to you this morning. As is always the case, and you've heard this message many times from this very space right here, we can be, on the level of appearances, deprived of many things at many times. We can find ourselves moving through fearful, difficult, extremely uncomfortable circumstances. But the one thing that can never be taken from us, is our freedom to choose how we will perceive things, how we will interpret things. And to sort of summarize in a couple of words the teaching of A Course in Miracles, while it takes on many varieties, the choice is always just between two emotions, love and fear. And no matter what's happening in the world around us, we are always free to determine which one of those we're going to choose. Now, we're not here this morning to talk with you about the medical precautions and things. There are many resources there on our website as well to deal with this in terms of the physical level. I'm encouraging you to investigate that and to practice as your heart dictates, but also to realize that our main purpose here today is to address with you the spiritual response, the highest spiritual response that we can encourage you to follow. In this particular case, and I always say to you, that you will always find what you are looking for. So if you're in a state of fearfulness, nothing wrong with being in a state of fearfulness, just an invitation to wake up a little more, perhaps, should you choose, to the reality that you do have a choice and that you could begin to gently and lovingly redirect your thoughts toward love. You could choose to not inundate yourself with fearful messages. My practice is to expose myself to the media to the degree to which I'm able to learn on the practical level. Unity is a very practical way of life. What's mine to do? That's why we're not all sitting in this room this morning. What's the practical thing to do? But then also to realize I have this choice. And while the whole world around me may be choosing to observe this coronavirus from a space of trepidation, anxiety and fear and concern about one's personal health and the health of the whole, we do have the ability to look for love within this situation. And I guarantee you, if that's what we're focused on, that's what we're going to find. We're going to see all kinds of demonstrations of people stepping up to the plate. You know, what Lucy is doing by offering the services of our communities to support others, the compassion that's behind that, the understanding that we're all in this together. Wonderful windows of opportunity will be opened through that activity and through all the activities that we're going to be witnessing. So my encouragement is for you to look at what you need to look at in terms of the facts of the situation and the appropriate responses on your part. But keep your mind, keep that single eye on what you know is the truth behind any illusion of appearance, and that is that God is present here and now, and as you do that, you're going to find God sort of peeking through the dismay of the situation and sharing with you the incredible possibilities. I was listening to, I think it was Deepak Chopra, when he was commenting on the virus. And he was talking about how it is possible to recognize right now that in a certain kind of way, the human family is recognizing that beyond the high levels of divisiveness that we have been experiencing in social and political circles, there's a unity binding us all here. In a very real way, we're all members of the same family. In a very real way, we all need each other, not only in terms of our actions, but also in terms of our thoughts, our prayers, and our intentions. So what we have here is an opportunity, and I'm trying to take advantage of this personally, when I find myself at all slipping or sliding into a fearful state, is to, and this is true not only during this kind of critical time, but in every moment of my life, become increasingly aware of the possibility that something great could be unfolding here. And it's been my experience since I've been on the planet that oftentimes in these more critical moments, that revelation is more evident than ever. And recognize that we are all in this together, that we as a human family are endowed with everything we need to move through anything that comes upon the path of our experience, and to know that it's there to open us up to the realization that there may still be pockets of fear, there may still be pockets of concern or doubt, and though those pockets are only there but for one reason, and that is to allow us to become aware of them and allow us to release them and allow us to put love in their stead.
I just smile because you shared how, the Daily Word said everything that you wanted to say. Well, the Daily Word and Reverend Chris said everything I wanted to say.
But the great thing is, you're going to say it in a slightly different manner.
And I love it.
In a way that people will hear that didn't hear anything from the Daily Word. Or so.
Well, and that's part of it, right? As you were speaking, it just once again brings me to the idea of our vision statement and being very conscious of it. Humanity inspired to its divinity. How is this situation supporting us to be inspired to our own divinity? What are the things that are showing up, whether it's the Daily Word, whether it's something that we say today, whether it's something that pops up on Facebook later today? How is that a tool, something that we can use as a practice to bring us into a greater awareness of the truth of who we are? When we talk about choosing between love and fear, I sometimes find that it's an easy choice, right? And sometimes I find that, especially when I'm slipping into some fear and some deep-seated fears that I may have, it may not be easy to just sort of correct myself or move me in the other direction, and I have to ask myself questions about that, And so whether it's just saying I'm going to focus on love, or just asking the question, how is love showing up? How is hope showing up in this moment? How is faith showing up in this moment? And, it just reminds me of what we believe here in Unity, which is we will see what we really focus on. We will see what we want to see. And so it'll be easy for us to look out in the world and see the ways in which challenges, fears, all of that is showing up, and allow that to be our primary focus. It's just as important of a choice to actually say, that doesn't feel good, that doesn't serve me, that doesn't serve the people around me. What serves me is to be on the lookout for the ways in which faith and love and truth are showing up, and then focus on that. And from that place, do the things that we are guided to do, right? Do the things that we discern in doing. I also am, I don't know if the first time I heard this story was from you, Chris, or from a book, but I just remember I've been with the story of Myrtle Fillmore, and correct me if I get the story a little wrong, but something was going on financially at Unity, and somebody had asked Myrtle to pray that the money held out. And she turned to everybody in the room and said, no, let us pray that our faith holds out. And so that sits with me today, right? Like, what is it that I can do to support this deepened faith in me, in humanity, and in our ability to face any challenge as an opportunity to really understand our truth and where we come from and where our power and where our strength and where our health and where our wholeness resides.
I got to take advantage of this opportunity because if you know me very well, you know I'm really big on mornings. And most especially the first 15 minutes after your eyes open and you're still just laying there coming into full conscious awareness. This is an excellent time, my friends, for you when you first get up in the morning before any other programming gets into your mind. You decide how this day is going to unfold for you. You decide that you're going to be committed to looking for love. It doesn't mean that the fear isn't going to show its ugly head. But it does mean that you're going to be more conscious, because if in those first 15 minutes you can decide that you're going to be proactive toward love, proactive toward compassion, proactive toward bringing the best you can bring even to a difficult situation, that mentality, that consciousness, and that vibration is going to filter through your entire day. And make no mistake, this isn't just for your own personal benefit. This is for the benefit of the whole human family right now. If you are observing people in another destination or even down the street who seem to be in a state of suffering, and you move into a woeful perspective on that, and you begin to allow your energy and your vibration to mesh at that level, again, nothing wrong with any level here, but if you do that, that's what you're contributing to, as you're saying, the point of focus. You can instead, and I'm really telling you, if you do this, I'm totally committed to this regardless, but especially in times like these, get that energy, get that vibration established right first thing when you get up, and you will be amazed at how it will influence whatever happens to you during the remainder of the day. So I know that we're not all morning people like me. I used to be a night person and became a morning person when I started to realize the incredible benefits. But you decide. In other words, instead of moving into the day allowing conditions to determine where you're going to be, you determine where you're going to be and watch conditions change.
I love that, and I love that not only the work of the morning and what you've taught us with the morning book and your morning process, but that we're adding these prayer calls in the morning, we're adding the guided meditation. And I have to, a couple of days ago, Chris and I were walking, and you said something about me as a father to Lucas, and I just chuckled, about me being a good dad to Lucas, and I chuckled. And you asked why, and I said, well, it's just my first vision when you said that was of this big sign that I have in the kitchen area. I spoke about it during one of the services that says, love, serve, remember. Because I have to remind myself of that in the mornings as I'm preparing things for Lucas. And so with that in mind, I even am starting to think, well, and I shared a little bit about this on my personal Facebook page, but so a lot of the things that we are being asked to do right now, how can we use those as tools? So, for example, in my home, where the bathroom that I go to wash my hands the most, could I put something on the mirror so that, yes, this step that I'm taking of being guided, but sometimes consciously or unconsciously, we're taking that step out of some level of fear. Well, by having some reminder in the mirror, maybe of the prayer of faith, the prayer of protection, just a reminder, pray for compassion and the world, humanity inspired to its divinity, all of a sudden that which was born out of fear becomes actually a practice of prayer, becomes a practice of peace. And so we can flip that in very practical ways throughout the day. Whatever it is that we are doing, how can we insert into it some of the practices that will move us from a place of fear into a place of understanding and guidance?
I'm just realizing, if you see me kind of cracking a smile over here, that these beloved souls are in front of two ministers right now, and we could very easily go an hour to 2 to 3 with this conversation, but we do want to allow you the opportunity to kind of sink and settle into that space beyond this world from within, and I think you're going to take us there, right?
Well, in a few minutes, we just got some questions really quick.
Let's go with
that
the
I
questions.
just saw. But Carla was asking, what are you telling your son? I want my son informed but not fearful. And if it's Carla Cody, I imagine her son is 11, so I'm not sure whether you've talked to your 30-something-year-old son about this. But for me, I'm actually not necessarily sharing any. I'm trying to be very conscious of not putting my fears on my son, because I don't think he has those fears, right? What he knows is that he's not going to go to school next week, and he's really happy about that. And I'm trying to make sure that I don't dampen that happiness based on whatever's going through my mind about him being home all week. So I'm just really being conscious of the practices of washing hands, the practices of being able to stay home and with each other and have playtime and connection time. So I'm not really telling him much, but again, my son is 7. I would just be very conscientious about not putting my fear into my son and being very watchful of that.
And that shows to me the importance of the parental role, being aware, not just at a time like this, because everything is heightened right now, but from day to day. John Bradshaw calls this the poisonous pedology, and that is the transference of the fears of one generation into another, because I don't believe our kids come in with this, as you say. He's not innately fearful of this. To be very aware of what we're passing on, not only during this virus situation, but all the time. What are we passing on through our reactions, through our information to our younger generations?
Chris and Faye wants to know, does toilet paper represent security? I don't know how Jason got that question through to us.
And the answer is absolutely. And I think, it's like comfort food. I think people reach for whatever they can, and that's awesome. But what we're here to tell you this morning is that there is something beyond toilet paper to reach for, and that is this center, this wellspring of your being, which is really, and it never runs out of supply. It's always there, unlike the toilet paper, paper towels, and other.
Well, but that, the fact that if you look at the things that you can't find as much anymore in the supermarkets right now, toilet paper, the hand sanitizers, the little paper towels and that sort of thing, all of those are things for cleansing. What if we are looking at this challenge that we're facing as an opportunity to look at the not physical, but and you do the physical, but the spiritual, emotional, mental things that must be cleansed in this moment. And I find it really interesting that there is that connection, right? Like what we are being invited to do on a spiritual, emotional, and mental level is being outpictured with the ways and with the things that we're looking for security from.
Absolutely. And I'm thinking to myself, I've been very busy this week, so I really haven't gotten out much. And of course, by the time I did, most of these paper products were gone. So I think I have 2 rolls of paper towels, and I have 6 rolls of toilet paper. And what's happening is I'm becoming much more aware of how I'm using the supply that I have, which is really a helpful hint right now in this time to be for the environment. Do I really need to use a paper towel for this? I mean, when it comes to the toilet paper, that's maybe a little different story, but how am I using my resources around me? And am I using them wisely and conscientiously? And am I doing things that are supporting the environment? This time is rich with opportunities for us to open up to new and better ways of being.
And so I think maybe we can close this part before going into the meditation with the last question, which is if we have any affirmations that you would recommend, that we would recommend using during this time.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, this brilliant minister friend of mine that I know introduced us once again to a classic and timeless unity poem written by Hannah Moore Kohas. It's called The Prayer of Faith, and it's filled with affirmations. God is my help in every need. God does my every hunger feed. God walks beside me, guides my way through every moment of this day. I now am wise, I now am true, patient, kind, and loving too. All things I am, can do, and be through Christ, the truth that is in me. God is my health, I can't be sick. God is my strength, unfailing quick. God is my all, I know no fear, since God and love and truth are here.
One mind. I was going to say, God and love and truth are here. So, with that, I'm going to invite us just to really feel into that full prayer that Reverend Chris just moved us through. I'm going to invite us to take a deep breath. Allowing ourselves to truly feel into this very present moment. Recognizing that here in this time, we're allowing ourselves to move deeper into an awareness that God and love and truth are here. And so as we become more conscious of our breath, as we breathe in, we are breathing in that energy that we are looking to experience, the energy of hope, the energy of love, of faith, the energy that knows that we are whole and healthy. As we exhale, we remember that moment by moment, we can release any fear, any thoughts that aren't serving us. Release any limitation, any belief that is keeping us from fully acknowledging our truth, that God and we are one. So let us take another deep breath. And I invite you, if you're feeling any level of anxiety or fear, to just set it to the side for now. Maybe envision yourself putting it into a bag or a box, and then just pushing that bag or box to the side and taking a deep breath. Now that we are even that much more lighter, we step more fully into an awareness that God's presence is here. That in this sacred moment, there is this sacred opportunity to truly know ourselves as whole, as children of God, as the very expression of divinity. And so allow yourself to feel, to sense your heart expanding, your mind becoming more still. God and love and truth are here. God and love and truth are here. And we experience this knowing in the very sacred space that we are. We experience that knowing, for we know deep within us that it is what we have placed our faith in, that it is the ways in which our own wisdom, our own guidance and inspiration show up to know that God and love and truth are here. Allowing ourselves to truly know that to experience ourselves as the embodiment of all that we hold sacred. Just know and recognize, accept, and live into the fact that in this moment, you are being recognized for being the expressions of love and light. Here and now, you are making the wholeness, the health, the peace of mind that is God be felt and expressed, not only in your life, but in the life of humanity. And so we welcome into this experience an awareness that we are God's peace. And so let us breathe into that peace. God's peace here, now, as the truth of all that we are, as the truth of this sacred space, this sacred place. And now feel as that peace of God truly surrounds and envelops you, holds you, comforts you, and brings you into a place of gratitude this morning. Gratitude for stepping into your own strength and courage. Gratitude for stepping into a knowing of love and joy. And gratitude that in this moment, you know more deeply that God and love and truth are here. Thank you, God, for this moment of connection. And thank you, God, for the knowing that you are here, now and always, our sustaining strength. So it is, as we let it be. Amen.
Thank you, Juan. Well, as I mentioned earlier, we are both ministers, and one thing a minister never misses out on is the opportunity to receive an offering. So this is our prosperity opportunity right now, and wherever you are, you have the opportunity to give. I just remind you that everything we do is because of you, your generosity in service and your generosity in financial support. So I want to encourage you to look for the donate button, wherever it may be, and make your offering. You can also make offerings online at our website, unityonthebay.org.
This is a great opportunity also to look into automatic giving and recurring giving so that it makes it easier for on Sundays or on times when you can't be physically with us, that you can have Unity on the Bay in your hearts and support us financially.
Awesome. So as we receive our offering, are you the one that's going to sing the solo this morning, Juan? I woke up with a song I hadn't thought of in 40 years.
Which is?
I don't know why it came to me, but it's Stormy Weather. You've never even probably heard of it, but I'm not going to sing that. So, and we don't have Dale with us, although he did say he would be happy to show up next week. Remember that we'll be live stream again next week.
And he's probably watching right now saying, please, Lord, let them not sing.